Welcome. Bumping the Night Society presents Exploring Your Society. I'm your host, Sean Bowman.
I'm your co-host, Phil K.
Today we have Nick Carboni and not Angie, but Sean Coletta.
Like I said,
Not sure if I said your name right.
Far worse looking version.
Technically, it's Sean's wife in drag, and it works out really well. So,
So what's up, guys?
Same old, brother.
That's right. Monday night.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Oh, go
Nick,
ahead,
you
Sean.
go first.
Oh, I get to go first?
Hell yeah, man. Do it.
All right. Well, my name's Sean Coletta. I am an investigator with the Old World Paranormal Society in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I'm a volunteer at the Bell Mansion, also in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Very cool. How long have you been investigating for?
Well, as a hobby, just by myself and with friends for a number of years, and then there was a big gap in between until I met Nick and his team, man, a couple years ago now, and ever since that day, it's just been basking in his glory.
It's been what, at least 3-4 years now?
It's been a couple. I don't know. I time does not matter anymore.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's been 2 years so at least.
What about you, Nick?
I'm just a floor man. I don't know how I got on this fucking show. Oh, shoot. Show. I just installed custom tile showers for a living, and my name is Nick Carboni, and I chase ghosts for a living. No. I'm the director of the Bell Mansion here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I help my lovely better half, Angie. I help her run the Bell Mansion. I'm the founder of Old World Paranormal Society and also the host of Old World Paranormal Podcast that you can find on all your podcast formats, whether it's Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Audible, Google.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. I'm also a host on that show. That other show.
Awesome.
The other show. Yeah.
Nick, you forgot your most important thing, though, right here.
We are the champions, my friend. And we'll keep on fighting.
That's right.
That was fantastic.
Nick was our Bumping the Night Society fantasy football champion this year.
Whoop, whoop.
Man. I'm glad that I could whoop your guys' butts all year long and host that trophy in the name of the Detroit Lions. Might be the only trophy we ever host, but
Detroit didn't look too bad this year, though.
No, it's crazy. So I was in 3 different fantasy leagues this year, and I ended up getting a new phone halfway through the season. And then I got completely locked out of ESPN. I could not get back into it. So for like 3, maybe 4 weeks, I was just like, well, it is what it is. Then I finally
Angie was having issues too, wasn't she?
Yeah. And I finally was able to get on the PC to check it. And I'm like, oh, well, shit. All right. I'm doing all right. So, but it is what it is.
I try to get into that fantasy football stuff, man. You guys have so much patience with that.
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's one of the things. I mean, everybody has their favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
They root for them. But what this, fantasy football does is it gets you into the rest of the league.
Yeah.
It gets you watching other teams that you normally wouldn't watch because, you've got that matchup on Sunday night and you're playing this guy and you just want to tune in to see what he does, or how he's going to screw you over and make you lose your fantasy football, and you're on the interweb sending strongly worded emails to this wide receiver and how bad he could be and everything, and
Nick's over there tweeting them.
tweeting them and stuff like that. So
I definitely know. I know way more about football than any other sport just because of fantasy. Because I don't know shit about baseball anymore because we have the Pirates and they've sucked for 30 years.
I'm a baseball fan over here. I just like how relaxing it is. you know.
Well, that preseason game we went to, Phil, was actually against Detroit, and the Steelers won.
That was a fun game too. There were so many fucking flags thrown in that game. I think there was Sean, like at least 20 or something like that. It was ridiculous. I'm like, just let the guys play for God's sakes.
Right.
You're moving so fast, you can't tell what's going on half the time. Your goal is just to fuck the other person over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talk about the main reason we're here. What's going on this Saturday?
Hell yeah, guys.
Oh, well, boss lady, she put on I don't know. This was kind of this was put together in like 2 hours in the afternoon, like no joke. And typically we kind of sit down and we go over the schedule. We kind of our mindset is to put on one event a month, whether it be paranormal person coming in, somebody from TV, or something like that, or if we're just going to have a different style of event and stuff like that. So we shoot for one a month, and we had one for January, we had one for February, we were working on April and May and June and July. And I came home from work one day and she's like, well, so I did this thing, and I'm like, what? And she's like, I put an event together for March. And I'm like, okay. And she starts telling me about it. And I was like, babe, that's freaking genius. And I said, it's genius to the fact that the shift in the paranormal is already here. And the fact that what I mean by that is the ways of cable network TV, from going from the sci-fi to A&E to the Travel Channel, then Discovery buying them all out. And having all the shows on TV and everybody tuning into, your cable network to watch all these shows. Well, the last, 3 years, if not even more, it started to shift. And that's because of social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, now you have all these other formats, Patreon, Twitch, you name it. And guys, the guys that are going out, like Paranormal Quest, Paranormal Nightmare, Kalani Smith, you guys are going out and you're making this content yourself. You're editing it yourself. You're putting it on social media yourself. There's no production crew. There's no money behind it. You guys are financially backing all of it. And people are now understanding that the content on these social media platforms overall are better than what you see on TV.
Yeah.
And it's easier to it's accessible on your phone right there. Boom. Right. We all have our social media little buttons, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. It's just like boom, and you're watching, Paranormal Nightmares episode for this week, or Paranormal Quest, or Kalani's live somewhere. I mean, it's just right there in the thumb. You don't have to wait for Saturday night, for the new Ghost Hunters or the new GA or new Kindred Spirits or Dead Files or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Discovery switch to a streaming platform, but you still have to wait overall for new episodes. Not like Netflix. Well, Netflix will dump the whole season 1 of a brand new show and you can binge watch it. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a big shift, and I think this was a wonderful idea to put together an event like this where everybody that's working hard on social media and the paranormal community are all going to come together and under one roof and celebrate each other for what everybody's doing. So
I think a lot of it too is like a lot of people don't want to watch like 2 hour shows anymore. They want shorter content. So YouTube, TikTok, definitely hits a lot better than some of these, which I'm old school. I like the old long hour episodes or making 2 hour documentaries, but a lot of people don't want to watch it,
Yeah.
And I think, to go with what you said, Nick, the amount of like shows that are actually out there is crazy. It's like if you get, I don't want to use the word bored, but I'm going to use it. If you get bored with one show, well, there's like 5 other ones you could check out because everybody kind of has a different, formula, but kind of still similar at the same time, and I think it's the amount of variety just to, get yourself indulged in. It's like, all right, well, I'll check this one out tomorrow kind of thing, Yeah. It's just nice, it's just so accessible.
And the authenticity of being able to live stream investigations now is kind of a game changer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes away the, they're faking this or they're doing this because you're watching it in real time.
Yeah. And it's funny how you mentioned that. Whenever Sean and I went to ISS, we were going live. I can't remember what building we were in, but somebody was actually being a bit of a dick and saying, "Oh, this is all staged." I'm like, "How the hell are we going to drive 7 hours?"
It's not just that. Nothing was going on. Like,
it was the funniest thing. I was like, "Dude, how the hell are we going to, this is like the most realistic thing ever because not everything's going to happen whenever you want it to,
Well, and I hate to say it, I have a lot of friends that are on TV.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have the utmost respect for them. I truly do. There's only one TV show where they controlled 100% of the narrative, and that was Ghost Hunters. Jason had the ultimate say of where they went, how they did it, what they used, what went into it, how, evidence-wise, you name it. The only TV show. Okay. And they hired a production company to work for them. So the production company out there or, whatever they told them to do is how it went down. Now, any other TV show, it's not like that. You have the production company, you have your producer, you have the network, and they all decide, what goes in, where you're going, how you're going to do it, what equipment you're going to use, and the whole 9 yards, So I think people kind of latched onto that, and most of the TV shows are really for entertainment, and people want real content. People finally want real content. So, these streaming platforms, or YouTube or TikTok, if you have enough followers, you can go live and, and stuff you can put on Instagram, and even us old people that only do Facebook like me. It's just changed. It's changed, and and it's sad, and I don't ever say anything on social media platforms. I really don't. I just sit behind the scenes, and people hating on other people for what they're doing and stuff like that. And I know guys like Kalani Smith, they get a lot of shit from people in the paranormal community, but I'm going to back him 1,000,000%. I know him personally. I know his wife personally. They are the hardest working people in the paranormal field. 24/7. This is what they're doing.
Yeah, we just had Kalani on last week, and he was saying like he was out at the Clown Motel, went back home, drove like 36 hours or something, stayed home for 18 hours. Then he was up at Madison for a week. Like, I mean, he's only in his 20s, so he can do something like I couldn't imagine doing something like that.
Oh man, that's and that's the thing too. Like this with the amount of like hours you put into something like this. I mean, I'm not as dedicated, or as as the other members of our team are too, because it's like I even told like Sean, there's sometimes where like I'm staring at my computer screens at work and I'm done. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. I can't do anything else. And it's it's crazy how you mentioned about ghost hunters, how how they are. They even like there's even been nights where they'd get done with an investigation and like talk with the people who were having the sightings, or like, yeah, we didn't see anything. We're just gonna be honest with you, nothing much happened, but we got this little thing here that could possibly mean something. But and that's what I like too. It's like it's not always going to be there's just not always going to be a lot that happens, but you just have to realize that's just how it is.
Yeah, it always irritates me when a team comes to a location and they're there one evening.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Well, we didn't get anything. That's what yeah.
Yeah, it's like it can happen. I mean, you just can't be like, "Hey, ghosties, hello, how you doing?" You know. But
I can pretty much almost guarantee when you come to the bell, you're going to walk out with some type of evidence.
yeah,
You know, are you going to have that one night where everything happens? Absolutely not. But it might.
okay.
It might. It's happened. It's happened to a lot of teams. It's happened to our teams. And I can't even tell you how many times.
We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We are. We're
Hey.
spoiled to have a location that we can go to whenever we want, and
Yeah.
something almost always happens, even if it's something small.
It's like
What is like the
always-
best evidence you guys have had at Bell? Like your team personally?
Mine are mostly EVPs, like
Okay.
Like- some of the best EVPs I've ever gotten.
Unfortunately, a lot of the things that I've encountered has been when I wasn't investigating.
right.
I was either just in the building working on things or talking to somebody. I've seen full body apparitions in the bell. I've seen full body shadow figures. I've heard I can't tell you how many disembodied voices. Doors moving, doors slamming, setting alarms off. Yeah, they're smart.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I think the coolest one is the one we caught when we were Facebook Live.
Oh, no kidding.
So we were up in the poker room. There was four guys at the poker table, and Angie was the only female in the building, and she was sitting in the room. She was Facebook Live, filming us, investigating at the card table. And I got up from the table, and I walked to the hallway, and I took the GS2 laser grid to the hallway, and I sat it down. I turned around, I go to walk back in the poker room, and I heard another set of footsteps in the hallway. So I stopped and I kind of turned and I said, why I said this is that you? I mean, that's like the dumbest fucking way. But of course, I was like, is that you? And the female responded loudly. She said, yeah. Everybody in the room heard it. And we were like, okay, was that a disembodied voice or was it coming from the spirit box? We had the SB11 going on the table. So we stopped the Facebook Live, went back through it and went through the Facebook Live and determined that it was actual disembodied voice. It didn't come from the spirit box. That's how loud it was.
That's cool.
Crazy.
So I think that's probably the coolest one just because it was on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
I call it sometimes just luck, I mean, hell, it's like you even mentioned too, and you walk into a place and, I even tell some friends of mine who are always interested, it's like, yeah, you can, things could happen. It's going to happen. If it don't, it don't. But hey, when it does happen, you're like, holy shit, that was fucking awesome.
We don't ever go to a location expecting it.
Yeah.
We go to a location like thinking almost like hopeful
Yeah.
or being blessed that we get some type of communication.
Exactly.
How do we come about this differently than the 1,000 teams that were here? Yeah.
So I think most locations we've been to, we've had at least something happen. I think the most dead one, I guess, was probably House of Wills. Like we didn't really have nothing happen in House of Wills.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the location itself was where we were at was more creepier than inside the actual House of Wills.
Yeah, you go to some sketchy ass places sometimes.
For sure,
dude. But yeah, then you just see a car facing your general direction. You're like, "Yep, time to go." But
so I saw that you guys had Nick Groff on last week. I didn't get to watch the episode yet. I'm going to check it out though for sure.
We did. We had Nick Groff on the podcast.
That's awesome.
Nick's an amazing individual. Besides all, he's one of the goats in the paranormal field. Besides that, he's just a genuinely good person.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
Angie and I got the opportunity to sit down, and him and his cousin Justin got to sit down with them for hours and just chit chat about everything. And they're just really, really cool people. Nick's he's a innovator.
Mm-hmm.
He's always thinking ahead. He's always trying to challenge the paranormal field. Excuse me.
You mean scientifically or
scientifically, thought process wise, just always trying to go about a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Death Walker series, I don't know if you guys have watched any of it.
Yeah, I have.
Season 1's a little different than 2 and 3.
Yeah.
4 will be even better. Like he describes it, it's like walking, Death Walker. He's walking with death,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. He's just an amazing individual. It's extremely unfortunate what happened to him with Ghost Adventures and then Paranormal Lockdown. He really got blackballed.
What happened? I didn't hear any of that. I know he's not on Ghost Adventures or anything anymore. I don't know what happened with the other one.
2 words: Zach Biggins.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a shame.
A lot of people don't know that the whole concept of the show, the pilot for the show, the person that edited the whole first season was Nick. Now, he ran into Zach. Zach was a wedding DJ.
I can see that.
Okay. And Nick was filming and doing photos for a wedding, and he ran into him at one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's how Zach got involved. And Aaron used to go to Nick's classes. In Nick's classes to learn shit. Aaron was never enrolled in school.
Really?
So they hit it off, became friends, and then that's where it all, it went to. And then I don't know, obviously I don't know Zach personally. I don't know if I really want to be honest with you. I just think he's a straight up douchebag.
Yeah. I know Sean likes him, but
I'm the only one that defends him on our team.
He's entertaining, but
before sitting down with Nick, I would always defend Zach to the point where I always say he's a creative genius.
Yeah.
Mm.
He took something that was already made by ghost hunters and kind of reinvented it. The whole 3 guys, raw footage, locked down overnight in a location. Well, then when I come to find out, it wasn't really his idea. He just he's a narcissist. He kind of just took it over.
Yeah.
Mm.
And, even when Nick was off the show and he got the opportunity to do Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina, and it was doing well. The ratings were doing better.
I like Paranormal Lockdown.
GA.
Good stuff.
Zach threw a fit and kind of was told Travel Channel was like, it's either me or him type of thing. And Paranormal Lockdown went bye-bye, and then Nick went overseas.
That's a damn shame. It's like, his ego probably got, thrown off of the loop a little bit, and shit like that happens, It's, it's like, can't we all be on the same team, even though we're on separate teams? It's like, come on, we're all here for the same purpose. And
yeah, but when money and fame gets involved, that shit gets to people's heads, and and if you're already kind of a narcissist, it's just the way it's going to go.
And that's the thing too with money and fame. It's just like, I'm sure it could be a temporary means of being happy, but you got to be careful. It's just like, I go by the good saying, God giveth, God taketh away. It's just, you can have all you want, but it's like once it's snatched away from you, man, now what? That's why you always got to have some humility. Got to be a little humble,
Oh, I agree with whoever this Facebook.
That's Mikey, actually.
Yeah.
From our team.
Paranormal Lockdown was an amazing show.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
An amazing show.
I watch the UK one sometimes too.
Mm-hmm. But you guys will have to check out the episode. I mean, obviously there's a little more to it. But that's the gist of the story, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of waiting to find out. He did come and film at the Bell
For Deathwalker or for something else?
for Deathwalker.
Okay, nice.
So they're filming 20 episodes. They filmed 10 in the fall. They're going to go out and film excuse me, 10 more in the spring, and then season 4 will come out. So
Okay.
but,
Yeah, I just saw that Corbin was with Nick a few weeks ago. Or whatever. We just had Corbin on too a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
So that's pretty
Corbin. I love him. He's a good dude.
Mhm.
I gave him a bunch of shit when he was on our podcast, you know. And the gist of it, I was kind of poking at him, saying, you know, hey, you kind of got all these followings because you look like you should be on the cover of GQ.
I can see
You know,
it.
And you know, me and Sean over here, we got the face for radio type of thing.
You guys do. You guys do.
Yeah,
That's not a compliment, Phil. That's rude.
Not a compliment, Phil.
Whoops.
It's called we're ugly fuckers here. That's why we do that.
I disagree. Hey, you know, I mean, everybody has. We're all good looking people. You know, come on now.
You know, and Corbin's new to the paranormal. Excuse me, I don't know why my voice.
You said wow, Phil.
That was Mikey.
What? Maybe I misunderstood the whole thing. I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought it was. I'll stop.
What were you saying, Nick?
you're fired.
Corbin's you know, he's newer to the paranormal field. He's learning he's learning as he goes.
Oh,
But hey, you know, he's out there putting in the work, so you can't knock him for it.
Yeah.
So that's what he wants to do, and that's how he wants to do it, and he's grinding and he's working on it 24/7. Then hey, you know, hats off to you, buddy.
For sure.
You know, I was giving him shit on the podcast because he said he's never caught an EVP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes, what did he say, Sean? He didn't have the patience for it?
yeah, it was something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, it was kind of funny.
But no, I mean, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. And I you know, I hope he has all the success in the world. So, face.
I literally had no idea that's what it meant. I had no. I thought it was a good thing. I'm sorry.
Well, now you know.
See, I'm a very complimentary kind of guy. Ask Sean. I compliment everybody, you know, and apparently it's not always a good thing because apparently I do it in the wrong situation. So, sorry.
We still love you, Phil.
It's
I love
all
you
good,
too.
brother.
See, Sean's the asshole. I'm the nice guy. He
I'm
always.
not the asshole. You're the one saying they're ugly, not.
I didn't know what that meant until you guys brought it up. I said you guys are
Oh,
handsome
there before
fellas.
you. You're done.
I said you guys are handsome guys. Jeez, forgive me for fucking up the saying.
No, it's all
That was
good.
actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That was hilarious. Now I know what that word means.
Yes, if somebody says you have a face for radio, they're saying that they're ugly.
And that's actually, it's funny because that's literally the first time I've ever heard that's what that meant. Literally the first time ever. And I was like, why are they laughing? I thought that was actually meant.
Makes you wonder how many other times he said that to people now.
Yeah.
Back and apologize.
Alrighty. Well, I'll be careful whenever I say certain things are good and certain things are bad. So, and Sean corrects me all the time too because I do say dumb shit sometimes. I'm like the punching bag sometimes, and I try not to be, but they're always trying to, you know.
He's backpedaling now. He feels uncomfortable. It's all good. We can just move past it.
I still love you guys too. This is turning into someone's favorite episode. Who is that? Oh yeah. Love you too, Mikey. Anywho.
Yeah, Matt and Elliot will be here this weekend, and that'll be great. It's always good to see Nat and Elliot.
Yeah, ACG are awesome.
Another team, you know. Everybody here's what gets me, okay, and this is what troubles me in the paranormal. Everybody grinds their certain way, okay. They have their certain aspects that they want to do and how they want to push things or what they're doing, you know, in the paranormal field, and that's great. Do your thing, okay. Don't hate on somebody for something what they're doing. Okay, like it drives me insane. You know, just go out and do it yourself. You
Like,
know,
worry about your own pockets. Like, don't worry about
Right.
mine.
Exactly.
right? Like, oh, well, they're doing this and this, and they got 100,000 followers, and I only got 10,000. Well, okay, well then you're not doing something. You're not pushing it right, or you're not doing something right. Change it up. You know, what's the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different result. You know?
Well, see, the thing that pisses me off when people start talking shit is like, put in the work. Like, don't just talk shit and be like, oh, I'm old school and I don't like the way people are doing TikToks and this and that. And like, you don't do anything. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're just sitting at home and think you're supposed to be like known and like get booked for shit and everything else, but you just sit there and don't do shit, and then you're getting mad at people that actually do this 24/7, like, just shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah. Well,
The problem is that too many people want to be a rich and famous paranormal investigator.
Yep.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
no,
I actually had no desire to be rich or famous. That's just me, though. I think it's too much.
I
It's
don't
too
gotta
much
be rich
of
or
a,
famous. I'd love to just do
Rich.
this as like a normal job. I don't work anything else, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, whenever people always like, sometimes they say that. I'm like, be careful because you're gonna have so much pressure on you. You know, it's
And it's funny because like when we do events at the Bell, it's gotten to a point now where a lot of people know us from
right.
the Bell,
Yeah.
and when they come in and they say hi to you, and they know your name, that means more than if I were famous and
Yeah.
sitting at a table giving somebody an autograph.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know these people and they're going to keep coming back and they remember you, and those relationships mean a whole lot more than temporary fame.
Yeah.
You know, it's at the end of the day, man, you got to network.
Right.
Mhm.
You got to network. You got to put yourself out there. Pack up the bags, go to these conventions. It's not always about who's walking through the door to buy things. It's about meeting the other vendors
Exactly.
or people that's there. It's called networking. Get out and network.
Well,
You
I know,
know?
like with the Ohio State Reformatory, we've done that Parapsychon last 3 or 4 years. We
Mhm.
always lose money. Every single year we're down money between booking like an Airbnb and then like, but it ain't about that. It's about like meeting everybody else and
Mhm.
like, like we've got to know so many people from doing these type of things,
Yeah. And when we go to these conventions, we don't take anything to sell.
Yeah.
We'll go and we'll print off like 150 bags that has our logo on it, or chains, or little shot glasses, or pens, and it's free. We give it away for free. It's advertising. It at the end of the day, it's a tax write-off. Okay, we're just there. We're there to meet people, to listen to their stories, to network with the other people that are vending and stuff like that. And it always I always I'm an open book and I just say what I want to say.
Mm.
Sometimes it's probably not good. Most of the time Angie's smacking me in the back of the head telling me to shut up.
Hey Nick, you want to hang out one-on-one together sometime? We could see who can make the most random comments to people.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely.
Let's do it, man.
I'm trying to see where Nick's going with this. What's he about to say?
All right. So okay. So you go to these conventions. Okay. So whoever's putting the convention on, they bring in 1 or 2 or 3 quote unquote stars or celebrities. Okay. And then you got 4 or 5 or 6 that are like B-level celebrities. Like people know them, but they don't know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of other people that are just there vending. They paid for a spot. And most of the big time celebrities, they get it. They're out there. I always say it backward, kissing hands and shaking babies, but it's backwards still. It's the other way. Shaking hands, kissing babies. Never mind.
Yeah, let's make sure Phil gets this before we move on.
You ever heard that saying, Phil?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've heard it. I'm good. I'm just listening.
Okay. And I'm not knocking anybody. So
Yeah.
please do not send me a bunch of hate text messages and emails. But what I'm getting at is some of these people that go to these conventions and they sit there.
Yeah.
And they got the resting bitch face on. And they're not approachable. And they're shitty because they're not selling enough merch or not enough people are coming up to them. And there's that because they think they're up here, but they're really here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you have to understand that if somebody even pays you to come to a convention, or you paid the $30 for a table, okay, you are sitting there to talk to people that are spending their hard-earned money for a ticket to come in to meet you, take a picture with you, shake your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Smile. They're the reasons why you are living the lifestyle that you're living, getting paid to go around to conventions to sign autographs and do this and to do this and this. You know what I mean? So suck it up, Buttercup. Because if it wasn't for all these people that are paying the $5-10 ticket at the door to come in, you're no celebrity. You're nobody. Those are the people that make you a celebrity, correct?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, we were sitting there, you know, in Savannah, and I'm not going to say any names, but there was a couple people that were there that were, you know, they spoke and they did this or that, and they're selling 50 million books, and I'm this and this and this, but like the aura they gave off, like I didn't even want to go talk to them.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to go network with them. I'm like, and there's something wrong there, right? So I don't know.
It's definitely an ego thing because you definitely see it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when people come to the bell, they're like, you know, and I'm just walking by, they're like, "Oh, you're Nick," and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name?" Blah blah. "Oh, I've seen you on all these YouTube things and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know? "Oh, well, I hope you have a great time." Like, I don't know.
I've actually made more friends like doing this stuff than I have in like forever, man. You know, I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sean and I, we've been friends for 7-8 years, and he hasn't killed me yet. You know, I'm obviously doing this stuff, stuff too, and it's just awesome. Like to me, it's a family thing. You know, even if you're a little bit involved or a lot involved, you still have that family, aspect of it. You know, and I think it's awesome too.
And this,
Well, there's
it's a great platform to meet wonderful people.
Mhm.
You're going to meet somebody for the first time, and all of a sudden they're lifelong friends of yours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it seems like there's either two different things in the paranormal community. You're either all family or it's all drama because there's so much fucking drama too.
Oh man, yeah, that's like I just like to, when it comes to the drama, I just like to sit back and just watch.
I try to stay out of shit, but I mean, I see shit, I hear shit. I just don't try to say anything because it's going to make us look bad,
Right.
Yeah. Excuse me. I mean, the last thing you want to do, and unfortunately, I don't know. I've just learned that keep your mouth shut.
Right. Exactly.
There's going to be teams that come in, and I'm not a huge fan of them. Like they're not my friend, but I'm going to treat you the same way that I would treat you guys walking in the building.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man.
And am I going to talk to them afterwards or text message or call them on a Wednesday? No, I'm not. You're not going to be friends with everybody, but that's kind of the adult thing to do. You just you stay kosher and you move on.
Yeah. Sometimes no reaction is the best reaction.
I just want to talk to dead folks. Me too.
That's Mike again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my take on it.
That's good though. It's just and I try to be Mr. Positivity in every aspect. I don't like getting into confrontations or anything like that too, just because I don't know. I guess I have a different way when it comes to certain things. Like I was, I was even at a freaking a bar. Like when was it? It was like Saturday that my friends invited me out to, and I had to kind of help to de-escalate the situation of some girl and some dude because the guy was joking around with her and she was drinking, took it seriously. I'm like, whoa, hang on a second, just chill out. You know, I mean, you don't have to like this guy if you don't want to. I like him; he's a nice guy, but you don't have to like anybody. But he did apologize to you, so.
Well, Phil, you're like non-confrontational to begin with. Like Phil's never been in a fist fight, which is fucking crazy to me.
Never have. I mean, I would do it if I had to, you know. But to me, there's other ways to handle stuff, and I've always been a very like, I don't like arguing. I don't like it. I think there's other ways. I mean, it's just I don't know. And I do say sorry a lot. I really do. I don't know. I just
That's an app.
Yeah, I don't like to get on people's bad sides because I hate making enemies. But then again, sometimes you have to because not everyone's going to like you. You can be the nicest person in the world.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, it's you know, Sean's seen me like upset a few times too, and I've gotten pissed off before. But I'm more like quiet, you know. But I'd rather just talk to you and you know, let's be men about this or you know whatnot. But,
What'd you say, Coletta?
Well, I don't remember. He said something, and then I said something about. Then you tell people you have a face for radio, but we're past that point now. It's like doing our podcast. Take a minute to catch up.
Don't worry, guys.
So switching subjects here. What's coming up for Old World Paranormal Society? Any trips this year? Or?
Oh, we're always doing something. We've got some trips planned, and you know, we get constantly people that reach out that have locations, and you know, we'll swap, and you know, we'll go to theirs, and they'll come to the Bell and stuff like that. We did kind of take a hiatus the last 14, 15 months, but that was kind of a good reason because we really wanted to focus on launching and getting the Bell Mansion off the ground. You know, our bread and butter, at the end of the day, if I never went to another famous location, I'll be okay because I'm not in it for that. You know, we started this for residential cases only to help people. So we're really ramping back up and getting back into that stuff.
Well, that's like you were talking about, like people grinding and that, like YouTubers now. You guys definitely, especially compared to a lot of owners out there, like you guys are always putting on events. Like even like the stuff you do with kids and everything and the charity work, like you guys, you pat yourself on the back for sure, man.
I mean, our ghost tours, dude. What did we have last weekend?
Well, we did one on what Saturday? The Saturday night.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of a chilly evening out, and there were 3 of us there, and we're like, well, getting to be about quarter till, you know, about 15 minutes till we start, and nobody's really coming. I think we had like 3 people at that point, and within the next 15 to 20 minutes, we had 42 people. We had to call in somebody else to, you know, kind of help us out, so we could get everything lined up, but. There was one time it was just Luke and I, one of the other investigators and volunteers, and we had 80 people show up. So you never know.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have heard of us.
Our ghost tours, our flashlight tours, our history tours, they're really ramping up. I mean, to crazy crafters clubs, to keep teaching kids paranormal classes once a month, to all the private bookings, and now we're ending our construction on the building and all that stupid logistics and paperwork, and so now we'll become a full-fledged event center. So you're gonna add weddings and parties and everything else on top of it with the schedule, and you know, and it's just, again, if you want it, you got to work for it.
Yep.
You know, and you got to put in the time and get creative and understand. This is the number one thing. Understand your demographic, or understand the area you live in and what people are into. And try to run with that, you know.
Right.
Not each location is going to be successful with ghost tours and history tours, you know. Some might, some won't, you know. It's just, I don't know. You trial and error, I guess.
Well, I know like Phil's never been there yet, but
Yeah,
me and Jen were there. It's a beautiful building. Like the woodwork in that place is amazing. Like it's not like a lot of these places obviously are run down. It is not run down at all. It looks like somewhere you could live.
Right.
You guys ever think about getting any other properties?
Yeah, we were asked that yesterday. We had a gentleman call us on the way back from Savannah. He's recently bought 2 locations in Illinois, and he asked us the same thing. It's on our radar.
Mm.
It's just right now, no. Maybe in the next few years.
Okay.
You know, if something comes up and it's right and it's the right price, maybe we'll see. But right now, we're really focused on the Bell. We're focused on Old World Paranormal Society. So right now, what I'm working on with Old World Paranormal Society is branching out and having. Right now, I'm working on a Michigan chapter.
Okay.
So we'll have Old World Paranormal Society Michigan chapter.
How far are you from Michigan?
Technically, I'm about 45 minutes.
Oh wow,
It's not bad at all. Yeah.
But we got some people up there, and we're gonna see how this goes. And then I got some other areas around the country that I want to branch out. It's something I want. I don't know. We've always had a lot of people that call from out of state, on residential cases, and I've always had to outsource. And I feel like if I can get a group of people here and here and here around the country and train them properly on cases and how to do them, what to do, blah, blah, blah. It's just a broader spectrum that we can help people, Not only do we get to help people every single day that walk in the Bell Mansion, but going back to doing residential cases that people have issues in their house and helping them resolve them, and hopefully soon on a nationwide basis.
Yeah, it's definitely the more I guess you do this, it's hard to even get back into residential because I swear it's like we're busy 24/7. Like we never have any free time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we have people like hit us up for residential, but it's like, when are we going to do it? And then the thing is with a lot of these residential cases is they could be full of shit. So why should we take time out for something we don't even know if it's legit,
Yeah, I mean, a residential case could be just a phone call. It could last 6 to 8 months on one case. It does. There's so many factors in play that you have to figure out. If you truly want to help these people, you need to go the whole 9 yards. You need to go all the way. Mm-hmm. And the last case, residential case that I finished up right before we started the Bell, it took me 6 months.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
I think it's hard to tell which ones are not jobs sometimes too.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
because we've had some weird people hit us up that I don't want to talk about it, but I'm sure you understand.
Again, I'm an open book, and I'll say whatever the hell I want to say, and I'll tell them I don't think I can help you. I don't really believe this. I've sat down at a table with people and told them it's you.
Mm.
You need to go see a therapist, a psychologist. Yeah. You need to do this and this and this. We call it paratherapy, because I'll tell them on the phone. I'm like, when I come out to interview you, it's going to get personal.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're going to talk about all your trauma in your life. To, have you lost a sibling? Have you lost a parent? Were you ever sexually molested? Were you raped? Did you, this or that? I mean, you name it. Because what happens is when people go through trauma in their life, they bury it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's another form of PTSD. Okay. And what happens is you end up just an exuberant amount of negative energy constantly flowing out of you because you're not releasing this. You're not going to talk to somebody. You're not moving past it to the point where, hey, you're either going to attract negative energies because you're an easy target because you're not mentally strong, or you're creating your own entity in your house. You're affecting the rest of the family, and it's just becoming a negative environment. I mean, there's so many different factors that can go into it. Have you had paranormal experiences your whole life? Is it just this case in this house? But 50 different ways you guys can go in a residential case. It's just again, how much time do you want to invest in it? And you're not getting paid to do it. You're just there to help people.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I got into it, because somebody helped me. And I've always wanted to pay it forward. So, I never thought we would be here where we are. That was never my mindset.
Yeah.
Or my goal. So,
well, I know we've asked Nick before, but Sean, what was like your first paranormal experience?
Mine would have been, I was 8 years old, and it was late evening. I had a bunk bed in my bedroom, and directly across from the bunk bed was my closet, and the closet had 2 doors on it that you pulled open. And I was just laying in bed and just had a very strange feeling, and I still remember it vividly to this day, exactly what it felt like.
Mhm.
It was like electricity in the room. It was really weird, and there was a black. At the time, it looked like smoke, but more of a black mist that started coming out from the bottom of my closet and got probably within a foot of me laying on the bed. And I was watching it, just kind of, paralyzed at the time, couldn't move.
Yeah.
And it got about a foot away from me, and I screamed, and it went back into the closet, and my mom opened the door, and that was the only time it ever happened. But I was awake. I was I had a record player at the time. Remember those things, record players.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually, I forgot what I had on at the time, but yeah, completely awake. I remember it vividly, and that was the first experience I had, and didn't happen ever again.
Wow.
So
Any history on the house that you lived in or anything? Or
you know what? I never really looked into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I lived in that house till I was 13, but nothing else ever happened.
Hey.
Well, see, I think that's how it is with a lot of places. Like, because I mean, my childhood house, like I lived there for 25 years, and I did have some stuff happen, but it was maybe 5 things over 25 years. It wasn't like constantly all the time,
right.
I have a lot of my family members have many personal experiences. This was probably, I want to say, a couple of years ago, whenever my grandfather passed away. My aunt and my uncle, my dad's youngest brother and his sister-in-law, they went to this graveyard like about 20 minutes from where I live, and they went to go visit my pap's grave, and they had a radio with them. I forget what song they were playing, but then the song cut out and then played a Dean Martin song, which my pap was a big fan of Dean Martin. Wow. There was no rhyme or reason for it. That once the actual song stopped playing, the original song that was playing before that kicked back going right where it left off. And they were like, yeah, we can't explain that whatsoever. That's probably like Pab was just hanging out. He was like, I don't want this song, play something else. And he played Dean Martin,
Very much.
Because that's another thing too. Because like, every situation that you go into when it comes to something like this can be very positive. It can be very negative. Like I like the positive ones the most, is because you feel great. It's like whenever we went to the Inspiration House, what was it, like a year and a half or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Beautiful place, and all the interactions, they were great. You didn't feel anything weird or anything like that. I like those. It just makes you feel good,
I think music in general always like triggers something,
Mm-hmm.
I know we've had a lot of experiences using music, or even just like how you were talking about, like your grandfather with Dean Martin. Like I've told you before, Phil, House of the Rising Sun used to be my mom's ringtone. She passed away in 2018.
Yeah.
And it plays at the weirdest times. Like we were leaving Hillview Manor, a haunted place, and as soon as we get in the car, it comes on the radio. And like Jen knows too that it used to be my mom's ringtone. And it's like, it's freaking weird that just popped on,
Oh yeah. And another experience I had with my Pap's younger brother, he was the first out of the 4 sons that passed. He was really big into like church and everything too. And, you can call this coincidence or not, but whenever he passed, my Pap, who was the one that passed as well, and the other 2 brothers, they're the ones that are still living. And my uncle, who was the one that passed, all his kids, they all got phone calls from their own house to their house, if that makes any sense. And my dad says you can't do that in the digital world, and he thinks it's a sign that like, hey, I made it home, guys, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's just like, you know, just certain things like that. Even if you don't think it's like paranormal or spiritual, just kind of like you're like, wow, okay, this is interesting. I want to know more. You know.
Well, if you think about it, if they can manipulate the sound wave,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to come through a spirit box or a digital recorder per se, to where they come across and still a human voice,
Yeah.
then who's to say they can't manipulate a regular phone or, you know, the radio dial on, you know, this or that? It's all forms of energy.
100%.
So
You know. Oh, is that Karma?
Mhm.
Hey, Karma. Yeah, it's just, and that's the thing that kind of sparked my interest in it too. It's just like, you know, I do believe there's something out there. There's always a little thing that kind of like, you know, reminds you. It's like, hey, we're still around, kind of thing. You
Mhm.
know, like I don't know if you guys are like religious or anything, but I always like kind of, put my faith in perspective when it comes to doing this stuff as well. You know.
Either one of you skeptical?
I'm always skeptical.
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not skeptical that the fact that there's something there
Mm.
or spirit wise, I know there is. I'm skeptical, and the fact is it a time warp? Is it an actual spirit like our brain perceives it to be? You know, is it,
Where is it coming from, basically?
where is it coming
Mm.
from? Yeah, like a wormhole, or I don't know. Are there us right now in another planet in a different galaxy, like duplicating us? And I don't know. There's so many different ways, and you know, we call it rabbit holes. You just start going down. It's like, how? Okay, even if it, okay, let's just go in the ghost form. The way our mind thinks of a spirit, or what you see. Now, if it's a form of energy, how is it, one, portraying its voice to us in the same way that we're talking right now?
Yeah.
So evidently they have to manipulate, you know, the sound waves or that type of energy, the white noise. How they manipulate that to come through and answer our questions. You know, how they manipulate energy to move something or touch us, you know, or pull our hair or squeeze Sean's butt in the basement.
That's what happened, Sean.
No, not that. I've been touched, but
Yeah.
not like that.
Do,
Not yet.
do I believe in God? Do I believe in like a source? I do. I mean, I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy.
Me too.
I still believe there was, you know, a Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story's a little twisted. I don't really particularly believe everything in the Bible because I would believe more of the Old Testament than I do the New Testament. Just the simple fact that there's two reasons. The Bible was made, all those stories, you know, the book of John, the book of Matthew, the book of Paul, those were, you know, 3 generations written down after the apostles were gone. And then religion's too manipulated by man.
Mm-hmm. Bingo.
That's the problem. It's fear mongering.
Right.
Religion is fear mongering, and it's been like that since forever. You know, today we damn the Muslims because the Muslims are bad. They want to kill all of us, you know, and they took down 9/11, the Twin Towers, and they did this and this and this. But you know, for 1400 years or 1300 years, Christians were persecuted for being Christians until the Roman Emperor Constantine decides that he wants to make Christianity the number one religion. So the tables got turned, and now Christians are going around killing people in the name of Christ for thousands. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, it's like
I believe if you believe in God or whatever it is, a higher source, you try to live your life in a decent way, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's a hell. I really don't believe there's a heaven. I just think we're one with the universe. We're energy.
Mm.
Like that's what I think.
You know, it's like Dustin Perry says, it doesn't matter what you believe in, just believe in something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and I've always been a believer. I was raised as a Lutheran. I'm more non-denominational now, and you know, I was forced to go to church as a kid. You know, I go sometimes now, but it doesn't happen that often. But I've always had that firm belief, and you know, it's like you said, Nick. I don't do the whole religious thing because it's more man-made rules than anything else. I mean, I have my beliefs. If people have their beliefs, that's awesome. You know, I've met Christians who are amazing. I've met Christians who are vile, who actually make anti-Christians or even like, you know, atheists or what have you look like they're Christians themselves and they're not, you know. You get both sides of the spectrum, you know, you really do. And I don't know, man. It's just like you said, just be yourself, you know. If you want to believe, awesome. If not, cool.
You know, the number one interpretation of Satanism, the devil worshippers.
Yeah.
When they're really not.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I don't know if you saw, like, we had a religious episode. we had Garrett. He used to be part of our team. He goes by Frater Crow now. He's into Satanism, Luciferianism, and a whole bunch of diabolical. I don't even know what the half the shit's called. He's into all sorts of like occult type stuff, dark type stuff. But that doesn't make you the person. Like, it doesn't make you evil. Like, Garrett's a good dude. Like, I've known him for years. Like, I've known Christians that are way worse than him.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
And it's just like your beliefs really, like, to me, I don't care what belief system. If you're a good person, then shit, whatever. You know, it's like you said, Sean. It's like he's a good guy. He's funny how, like, whenever I first met him, we had to share a hotel room together. So it's like an occultist and a Christian in the same. It's just funny.
And Phil didn't even know him either. Like, Phil knew me, and I was like, "Yeah, you're staying in the room with a Satanist tonight."
It was cool as hell, man. We were just chatting until like 4:00 in the morning, and then it was just, you know, because like I can get along with pretty much anybody if you're a nice person.
But I mean, any religion's going to be frowned upon by somebody. Even like go back and like look at like paganism, and you know, like obviously Wicca and all that stuff, and like the witch trials and all that shit. Like, who's to say who's right and who's wrong? You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just,
you know, witchcraft, Wicca, Wiccan. You know, people hear that just like Satanism. They're like, oh. You know, it's like, no, you really like open your mind, sit down and have a conversation, talk to each other, listen to both your guys' point of view. Don't point the finger and damn each other. Just listen.
Exactly. And you can learn a lot from people who are completely the opposite theologically than you are, like so much, because, you know, it's just more about how you treat others. And it's actually funny, too. This is really kind of related to the topic. I was actually like using Wikipedia, which, you know, anybody can use that shit and change whatever. I was reading up on like the church of faith, and a lot of the qualities that they actually have are believer qualities as well. Kindness, treating others well, not harming animals or kids or, you know, what have you. I was like, damn, okay. You know, some of these churches can kind of learn a thing or two. You know, it sounds weird saying that, but
hey,
just be a good human being.
Yep, that's all you got to do, man. As long as you're not an asshole, then I can give a shit what the hell you do. You know, and I mean like asshole, you know.
Yeah, you could be an asshole and still be a good person.
Oh yeah, you can.
I'm gonna say,
I can be an asshole sometimes. I mean, I'm sure I can.
What's that, Sean?
Always a time and place.
Say present company is included in that statement there.
But who's that? Hey guys, Michelle. Which
Caitlin.
Oh hey.
I like this one right here, and I say this to people all the time. I don't know who this person is, but this person said lots of people believe in God, something they can't. Oh, it went away. No, hold on.
I'll bring it back.
Something they can't hear. Hold on, they can't see, they can't hear, they can't feel, but yet they want.
That's Karma that said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. You know, people. you put your faith in God. You put your faith in God that God will do this for you. God will have your back. God will lead you in the right way, in the right path. But you're not, you have no evidence. You have no proof that there is said God.
Right.
What you have is your faith, your belief, and people, they tell me all the time, like, well, aren't you afraid when you die and you go to meet your maker? I'm like, hey, I in my heart feel like I am doing the right thing, helping people. If I get to that day and he tells me I'm wrong, but that's my fucking problem, not yours.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as the good outweighs the bad, that's how I see it.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, just be your cool self and you're good. It's just and you're human. We're all human. We're all gonna fuck up. I mean, shit. If we didn't screw up every day, there'd be no way for us to challenge ourselves and grow stronger as a human being.
I always liked it when you had to go to the penance, with a priest or a confession, and you're sitting there, oh Father, I killed 2 people last week and ran over a dog, and I called my mom a bitch and this or that. Okay, son, well, say 10 Our Fathers and 20 Hail Marys and throw a 20 in the plate and you're good. All right.
20 in the plate. Man, they're making bank there, man. It's funny.
You go to mass and they have the offering plate coming around to donate to the church, right? Yeah. But then when you're in need and you need some milk and bread and eggs because you're just flat broke, and you go to the church and the church turns around and tells you should pray for God for help. No, dude, can I have my 20 back?
Yeah, right. Oh man, it's funny how you mentioned like church confessional. There was I don't know if you guys if you watch like Beavis and Butthead or anything, but there was a hilarious part in Beavis and Butthead Do America where they go to church and they go to the confessionals and like, hey Butthead, look, porta potties. I don't know why that reminded me of that. I just wanted to share it. It was funny.
That's what those were.
Yeah, I mean they kind of look like a fancy porta potty if you think about it. You're gonna leave a holy shit, literally.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to promote or anything coming up? I know you have your podcast in a little bit. That's why I'm gonna try to get you guys out of here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you haven't been to the Bell Mansion, you need to come. It's hard to explain it. You can ask Sean. You just got to walk in the front door, and it's a beautiful place. It's a safe place. If it's something you want interaction with spirits, you want the whole 9 yards, but you're really leery of things, we have the perfect location for you. Come to the Bell. We don't allow any negative spirits in the building. We don't mess around with that. Go to thebellmansion.com. Obviously follow us on Facebook, Bell Mansion LLC, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Old World Paranormal Society. All the same social media platforms. Give us a like, give us a follow, or just a hi. Hey, we don't care.
Make sure you come out this Saturday and see all of us.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was trying to run through everything in my head.
It's gonna be fun.
Old World Paranormal Podcast. You get to listen to me and Sean here interview people from Nick Groff to Michelle Bellinger to Mike.
Hey, you said it right.
I did.
She'll be impressed.
You name it. We've talked to a lot of the knuckleheads on TV. It's always a good time. And obviously, this weekend, Friday night, we still have tickets left for Paranormal Investigating with Paranormal Quest. There's some tickets left for that. Saturday night's investigation is sold out. But if you'd like to come and purchase, I think it's like $5 at the door, you get to come in. You get to meet the likes of Kalani Smith, to Bump of the Night Society, ACG, to Paranormal Quest, Paranormal Nightmares, Corbin Bentley, and the owner of Ghost Stop will be there. Who else?
Blood Moon Paranormal.
Blood Moon Paranormal. Paranormal Inquiries will be there.
Corbin
will be there. Yeah, it's just got a lot of people, a lot of paranormal teams. It's going to be an awesome networking thing. And yeah, just come on out and have a good time. And shit, I think that's it.
And don't forget, over 40 vendors. And
Yeah.
Smoking Jay's amazing barbecue food
Smoking
truck is going to
Jay's
be
is-
there. If you haven't had Smoking Jay's food,
They
from their
make
food truck,
egg
you're
rolls
missing out.
with pulled pork and mac and cheese in it.
Sounds amazing.
Oh,
you
That's so good.
gotta tell me twice.
so good. So good. Yeah. But,
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
and
thanks for
hope you guys have
being
a
here.
good podcast later now, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ray.
we're interviewing Greg. I think it's
Bacon,
Bacon.
bacon.
I don't know, something like that. He's a radio personality out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he does a lot of spirit box work. So
Ah,
it's a
there we
good
go.
time, and we look forward to it. And one of these days, we'll have to have Bump of the Night back on.
For sure.
All right, thanks, guys. We
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Awesome. See you guys
Awesome
this
seeing you
weekend.
guys. Oh yeah, brother.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can find us here, and here, and here. Don't forget, everybody needs a little bump in the night.